Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, the chapter entitled Karma Yoga, and today's verse is 17. Yas tvatma ratir eva syad atma triptasya manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtas tasya karyam na vidyate. I don't know why text 18 is over there. It's 17 today. Translation. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, For him, there is no duty. Purport. A person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed, an effect of many, many thousands of yajna performances. By such clearing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position in relationship with the Supreme. His duty thus becomes self-illuminated by the grace of the Lord, and therefore he no longer has any obligations to the Vedic injunctions. Such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasure in material arrangements like wine, women, and similar infatuations. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tabda Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Galpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shinnavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Hare Krishna. So very warm welcome to you all to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. I don't know why so many seniors are sitting in the audience. I don't think you'll get anything from this class, but still, because you are here, please bless me that I may be able to speak something relevant for your divine pleasure and for my own purification. Please bless me that my statements may be decorated with the right philosophy. I'm not saying this. This was the prayer of Shukadeva Goswami. He said in the second canto, 4th chapter, Bhuter Mahadbhir Yaima Puro Vibhur Nirmaya Shete Yadamushu Purushaha Mungte Gunan Shodasha Shodashadnakam Solankrishishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me. So Alankrishishta. Alankrishishta means decoration, and Vachamsi means the statements or the words. So he's praying in his Mangalacharan that his words may be decorated with the right Siddhanta. So yes, please bless me that I may be able to speak something relevant. So we have gathered here for discussing something from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a book which contains the words of Lord Krishna. Either we are discussing the words of Lord Krishna, the instructions of Krishna, or the words which talk about Krishna. Both of them are called Krishna Katha. And this Krishna Katha has a very wonderful effect. What it does, it cleanses all the unwanted things from the heart. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridayantasto hi abhadrani. All the abhadra things from the heart, they get eradicated when we talk about Krishna, when we discuss about him. And is it that only the abhadra things get removed? No. The abhadra things, they get removed, but in addition to that, we also transform all the existing things into subhadra. Tasmai subhadra shavase namo namaha. This is what Shukdev Goswami says in his prayers in the 4th chapter. He says, Tapasvino dana paraya shasvino manasvino mantravidaha sumangalaha shemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai subhadra shavase namo namaha. There are 3 back-to-back verses in that chapter which talk about this exact same statement. 3 verses exactly end with the same line. I offer my obeisance unto that Supreme Lord. The discussions about whom transform everything into Subhadra. Bhadra means auspicious. And the moment we add the word Su as a prefix, it means extremely auspicious. So I offer my pranams to that Lord. The process of hearing about whom transforms everything into a very auspicious thing. So, and why Shukdev Goswami is offering pranams in the 4th chapter? Because he had forgotten to do Mangalacharan in the 1st chapter. He had got very enthusiastic. He became very enthusiastic when he heard that question by Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit had inquired, what is the occupation of a human being in general and a dying man in specific? So this was such a wonderful question that Shukdev Goswami, he started, Variyane shate prashnaha krito loka hitam nripa atmavid samataha pumsam shrotavyadishu yah paraha. Variyane shate prashnaha. What a question! Parikshit, this question is glorious. Why? Because it has 3 qualities. The first quality is Atmavid Sammataha. It is approved by all the Atmavit. Atmavit means transcendentalists. It is approved by all the saintly personalities. Second, it is Loka Hitam. It is beneficial for all men. And the third quality is Shrota Vyadishu Yaha Paraha. It is the supreme subject matter for hearing. And he is saying that you are glorious that you have asked this question, but otherwise, in general, people are Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nanam Santi Sahasrashaha Apashyatam Atmatattvam Griheshu Grihamedhinam. Otherwise, people in general, they are Shrotavyadini Rajendra. They have hundreds and thousands of topics for hearing. Nanam Santi Sahasrashaha. Sahasrashaha means hundreds and thousands. And why is this the case? Because apashyatam atma tattvam. They are apashyatam. They are blind to atma tattva, towards self-realization. And this is because griheshu griha medhinam, because they are too materially engrossed. They are just too engrossed in family life. Okay, you are saying, Shukdev Goswami is saying that they are too engrossed in family life. But what's the symptom of that engrossed family life? The next verse, the 3rd verse. Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena cha vavayaha divacharte hayarajan kutumba bharane nava. Such a person who is engrossed in family life, in materialistic life, during the daytime he'll be doing 2 things, and during the night time, again, another two things. So night time he'll be busy in sleeping and sense gratification. Or to be more direct, he'll be busy in sleeping and sex life. And in the daytime, he'll be busy in earning money. And the second thing is maintaining his family. So this is the symptom of an engrossed family life. And because of this, because a materialistic person is engrossed in this fashion, what happens? Deha patya kalatradishu atmasainyeshu satsvapi tesham pramatto nidhanam Pashyan apina pashyati. Because of this, the person thinks that his deha, his apatya and his kalatra, Deha means body, apatya means children, and kalatra means spouse. He thinks that these are the soldiers on whom I can depend. But such a person is blind because these soldiers are fallible. If somebody is going on a war and he is told that the army which you are taking with you, this army is bound to be defeated, this army is sure to perish, then any intelligent person will not take such an army, right? He'll better take an army which has a higher probability of winning, which has a good probability of emerging out victorious, right? It's a stupid idea to go with an army of fallible soldiers. But the amazing thing is, the crazy thing about materialistic life is, a person depends on fallible soldiers. The very fact that Ajamil, in the 6th canto, there's a pastime, there's a story of a person named Ajamil. The very fact that he called out the name of his youngest son, Narayan, this goes to show that he was depending on him. That's why he would call him out, right? So this is what happens. The person engrossed in materialistic life, he depends on these fallible soldiers. And he knows that these soldiers are fallible. But pashyan api na pashyati, although he is sufficiently experienced, he is not able to see his inevitable destruction. So this is the problem. This is the situation of materialistic life. So as a result, as a solution, Shukadeva Goswami speaks the fifth verse. Fifth verse that comes out of his mouth is Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichhata Bhayam. Tasmad, the word Tasmad means therefore. For that reason, O Maharaj Parikshit, what you should do? Bhagavan Ishwara Hari. You should worship that Bhagavan, that Lord, that Supreme Lord who is Ishwar and who is Hari. The word Hari can have different meanings. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Hari Shabde Nana Arthe Dui Mukhyatama Sarva Mangala Hare Prema Diya Hare Mana. The word Hari can have multiple meanings. One meaning of the word Hari is green in color. Another meaning of the word Hari is lion. For example, Lord Narasimha, he is sometimes called Nar Hari. Nar means human and Hari means lion. He is a combination of, he is half man, half lion. So this word Hari can have multiple meanings, but Dui Mukhyatama. But out of all of those meanings, two are primary. The first one is Sarva Amangala Hare. He takes away all the inauspicious things, all the undesirable things, and Hare Mana. He takes away, he captivates our mind. So now someone may ask that, oh, Krishna, does he only know how to take things, or does he give something back in return also? No. So this verse says, no, he does give something back in return. What he gives back? Prema Diya. He gives his loving devotional service back in return. So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari. Worship that Bhagavan who is Ishwar and who is Hari. Now how do you worship? Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichhatha Bhayam. Shrotavya, hear about him, listen or discuss the scriptures that talk about him. Kirtitavyaha, do his kirtan, and Smartavyaha, remember him. So this was the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam from the side of Shukadeva Goswami. He forgot to do Mangalacharan. To do Mangalacharan is so important that in the 7th chapter of the 1st canto, when Ashwathama releases Brahmastra towards Parikshit, Arjuna, he reaches out to Krishna for help. But he starts his prayer, he starts his request with a prayer. He starts his request with a Mangalacharan. It's an emergency situation. It would have been absolutely fine if he would have straight away put forward what he wanted for two reasons. One, because that was an emergency situation, and second, because Krishna was his friend. It would have been absolutely fine if he would have straight away said, "Oh Krishna, please protect me." Let's say somebody, one of us sitting here, may this never happen, but let's say our grandson or granddaughter is in trouble. What we'll do? We'll say, "Om Gyanati Mera Andasya Gyananjana Shala." We'll not do all this, right? We'll straight away say, "Hey Krishna, help, please help out, I need you." Right? We'll do this. We'll not have time to do, "Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi." Right? But Arjuna, he is abiding by this maryada. He is not transgressing the etiquette. And Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport, I think 1.7.26, Srila Prabhupada writes that Arjuna is setting a very good example over here. So, yes. So this was Shukdev Goswami. He says, "Tasmai Subhadra Shavashe Namo Namaha." That this process of hearing about Krishna is very wonderful. So today's verse, this is the wrong verse, by the way. It's text 17. So in this chapter, on a high level, what Krishna is trying to explain is that we are not only living in a universe, we are living in a universal government. So when I say universal government, I mean that we are taking so many things from the higher authorities, from the demigods, from the sages, from the rishis, from our ancestors. So we should also understand that we have a duty to pay them back. If we are not interested in paying them back, then this is a childish mentality. How a childish mentality? Because when a kid is small, is young, he gets all the facilities, all the luxuries, all the comforts from the parents, and he thinks that he is entitled to all of that. He doesn't develop a sense of paying back parents anything. He doesn't feel that he has any responsibility towards parents. He simply sits and enjoys, right? But as a child grows up, he is expected to develop an intelligence that, no, I'm also indebted. I'm also accumulating some debt. I'm also building up some debt. I'm also incurring some debt. And there should be a point of time wherein I take up responsibilities of family life. I ask the parents to sit back and relax, and I get married and serve my parents with my spouse, this, that. So this is a symptom of a sane person, right? If somebody keeps on taking and taking, then that is not a very intelligent idea. So similarly, we people, we are taking things from demigods and we are not paying any tax. If we are staying in a country and not paying a tax, we'll be called a thief, right? So similarly, in text 12 of this chapter, Krishna says, "Ishtan bhogan hivo deva." That such a person who doesn't perform sacrifice, he is a thief. And in the ancient times, people had this understanding that we have to give back because we are getting facilities. So, like in the Govardhan Leela, famous Govardhan pastime, we see that the demigods, that the residents of Vrindavan, headed by Nanda Maharaj, Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki. So Nanda Maharaj, along with other Vrindavan inhabitants, they were performing a sacrifice because they knew that we are indebted to Indra. We are farmers, we are having agriculture as our occupation, so we need to pay back. So in the ancient times, people had this mindset. But nowadays, people are simply exploiting things like anything, exploiting the material nature more than ever before. And the interesting thing is that they are not even concerned about paying the debt back. And one thing that can be understood from this text 17 is, at least what I could reflect upon is, the less we take from nature, the less we are supposed to pay back. So the verse says, the one who is self-satisfied, one who is Atma-rati, who is Atma-tripta and Atma-santushta, who is self-satiated, who is self-illuminated, and who takes pleasure in the self, he does not have any duty to perform. Why? Why doesn't such a person have any duty? Because he is not taking only anything. He is happy with himself, right? So if we are taking something, then we are bound to pay back, right? But because such a person, he is hardly taking anything from the material nature, so therefore he is not expected to pay back also. And Krishna is trying to propose a simple way of life also in this verse, and basically simple living, high thinking, and such a lifestyle is definitely possible. Otherwise, Krishna would not be speaking this verse. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, there's like heavy series of verses in the 2nd chapter. There, I think, who's saying? Sages of Naimisharanya? I forgot the speaker, but they say, Satyam shitau kim gashipau prayasar baho sasiddhai upabarhanai kim Satyanjalo kim purudhana patraya digval kaladau satikim dukulai. Satyam shitau kim gashipau prayasar. What is the need of cots and beds when you have ample earthly flats to lie down? What is the need of pillows when you have arms? What is the need of utensils when you have palms? What is the need of fancy clothing when you have tree barks and the tree leaves? So of course, this is a heavy verse. We may not be able to, it may not be practical to apply this in 21st century, but the idea is that we should keep our basic necessities to a minimum so that we can focus on the purpose of life. More important than what we live with is what we live for, right? Unfortunately, many or most of us, we are busy enhancing what we live with. But more important than what we live with is what we live for. We might try to increase our acquisitions. Nothing wrong with that. To make an attempt to increase our wealth, to make an attempt to increase our acquisitions, that is not wrong. But along with that, along with increasing our acquisitions, we should also try to improve our aspirations. In other words, along with increasing the standard of our living, we should also try to increase the standard of our life. Right now we are living a material life. We should slowly and gradually try to come to a spiritual standard of life. But when I say this, please don't get me wrong. I don't mean to say that we should live 2 lives. No, not at all. I'm not proposing that from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. we should live a spiritual life, and after 9 a.m. material life. No, that is wrong. Sometimes devotees also think like this. Once I was sitting in a class, one devotee, he asked a question. He started asking a question. Prabhuji, if we see in our material life, the speaker, he stopped him right there. He said, wait a minute. What did he say? Then he corrected. He said, oh, sorry, Prabhuji. If we see in our professional life. So the speaker said, yes. A devotee, he does not have 2 lives. He has only 1 life, and that is spiritual. So we might be engaged in different professions, nothing wrong with that. But we must know the art of how to spiritualize it. So there are some things which are spiritual and some things which are material. So those things which are spiritual, like deity worship, like chanting Hare Krishna, like reading Bhagavad Gita, these are spiritual. And if we keep on doing this will take us back to God, because this is Bhakti Yoga. But those things which are not spiritual, which are material, for example, our profession, for example, studies for students, they are material, so they need to be spiritualized, and that is called Karma Yoga, and that is what this chapter has been entitled as, Karma Yoga. So, yes, this needs to be done, and this verse is talking about Atmaram type of people, those who are self-satisfied. So yes, they may not be depending on the material nature, but still, if they are not surrendered to Krishna, then it means they have not yet reached the highest purpose of life. Like this famous Atmaram verse comes in the 7th chapter of Bhagavatam, 1st canto. Atmaramascha munayo nirgrantha apyurukramai. I'm reading this section only from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita these days, the explanation of the Atmaram verse. It is a very long chapter, more than 200 pages. Lord Chaitanya gives 61 explanations of this verse. So this verse says, even those who are Atmaramas, who are self-satiated, self-illuminated, this, that, if they come across the qualities of Krishna, even they feel attracted. Ideally, logically, they should not. Why? Because they are self-satisfied, no? They are Atmaram, they are self-satiated. So, why at all will they feel attraction for anything? But no, this is the transcendental nature of Krishna. A very wonderful example comes in the 3rd canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. The 4 Kumaras, the 4 sons of Lord Brahma, they had such extraordinary mystic power that they had stopped their age till the age of, they had stopped their age at 5 years. So, purposefully they had done that because if somebody is 5 years old, they do not really need to dress themselves also, right? They can roam around naked and nobody will really care. So they had done this on purpose so that they can focus on the purpose of their life. They were attracted to the impersonal feature of the Lord, towards the impersonal Brahman. But these Atmaramas, these 4 boys, 4 sons of Lord Brahma, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar, when they smelled the fragrance of the tulsi leaves offered at the feet of Lord Vishnu, even they experienced a change in their body and in their minds. 3rd canto says, Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda Kinjal Kamishra Tulsi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Savivarena Chakarate Sham Sankshobham Aksharajasham Apichitta Tanvo. So these 4 boys, although they were Atmaram, still they got attracted towards the Lord because they earlier did not have the aspect of devotion to the Supreme Lord, but now they got introduced to that, and hence they felt attracted. Srila Prabhupada in Monday's class, those of you who attended that, Srila Prabhupada was talking exactly about this. Achyuta Bhava. If we do not have devotion towards Lord Achyuta, then that perfection, then that mysticism, that tapasya, etc., all of that is futile. Even the verse which I recited in the beginning in the class, tapasvino dana parayashasvino. So all the skills, all the talents, all the opulences, all the tapasya, all the dana. Dana means somebody who is charitably inclined, who is having a habit of performing charity. All of these. Tapasvino, dana para, yashasvino. Yashasvino means somebody who is performing apparently glorious deeds, heroic deeds. All of these things, skills, talents, etc., they are big zeros. Big zeros. Now, if you have n number of zeros, in whatever permutation and combination you may arrange them, the result will still be a 0, right? It will always be 0. But the moment we add a 1 in front of them, all of those zeros immediately start carrying a value, right? So what is that 1? That 1 is Krishna. Therefore, that was said, tapasvino dana para yashasvino manasvino mantra vidaha sumangalaha shemam na vinnanti vinaya darpanam. Shemam na vinnanti vinaya darpanam. If these things are not offered at the feet of Krishna, they are shemam, they are useless, they are futile. And therefore, tasmai subhadra shavase namo namaha. So I offer my obeisance unto such a glorious master. So, yes. And one more thing. Yes, in this Atmaram explanation of the Atmaram verse, Lord Chaitanya also gives the example of Princess Rukmini, who became the wife of Krishna later, who became Queen Rukmini later. So this princess, this girl, Rukmini, she was young and she was having a very high character, very high. But the moment she heard about the qualities of Krishna from the mouth of Narad Muni, she developed such a strong feeling for him that she ended up writing a love letter. She wrote, Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shrinavam te nirvishya karna vivarer haratu angatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labham tvayachyuta vishati chitrama patrapam me. I don't know why in every Gita class of mine I talk about this love letter of Rukmini, It is said that this is the only love letter which a brahmachari or brahmacharini can read. So anyways, so this is such a wonderful expression of feelings by this girl, by Princess Rukmini. She wrote, Yasyangri pankajaraja snapanam mahanto vanchantyumapaterevatmatamopahatyai yarhyambu jakshana labheya bhavat prasadam. She's writing that, oh Krishna, if I do not obtain your prasadam, here prasadam is not talking about the edible prasadam. Here prasadam means mercy. If I do not obtain your mercy in the form of obtaining you as my husband, then what I'll do? I'll do two things. One is that I'll give up my body right away. And second, for the next hundreds and thousands of lives, I'll perform austerities with the hope to attain you as my spouse. And Krishna, he's also not heartless. When he got this letter through the Duta, through the messenger, so he took a note of this. And later on, in chapter 60 of Srimad Bhagavatam, or Krishna book, this chapter is very interesting. It takes you on a roller coaster ride. This chapter is entitled Talks Between Krishna and Rukmini. So Krishna proposes, hey Rukmini, why did you marry me? Shishupal was a befitting candidate for you. Shishupal was a lot more qualified than me. You made a mistake. You can still switch your decision. You can still give me up. So when you read through the arguments of Krishna, it means it's terrible, you feel some pain in your heart. Then Rukmini faints. She starts giving her answers. Then you feel joyful. So after this exchange, Krishna, he becomes so pleased by the answers given by Rukmini that he speaks a verse. He says, Dutastvaya atmalabhane suvivikta mantraha prasthapino mai chirayati shunyam matva jihasa idamangam ananya yogyam tishthet tatvaivayam pratinandayamaha. He said that Dutastvayatma labhane suvivikta mantraha. Duta means messenger and suvivikta mantraha means confidential. You had sent a confidential messenger, and this messenger, when he arrived back in your palace without me, chirayati means delay. When there was a delay in my arrival, prasthapito chirayati shunyam etad. When there was a delay on my part, you started seeing everything as shunya. Everything became void for you. This world became vacant for you. And what did you decide in your mind? Matva jihasa idam angam ananya yogyam. You thought that this anga, this body of yours, is not fit to be touched by anyone else. Ananya yogyam. Yogya means befitting and ananya means anyone else. So you thought that this body of yours cannot be given to anyone else. Nobody else can become my master. Nobody else can become my husband. So therefore, you thought of committing suicide. You thought of giving up your life. O Rukmini, because of such attachment of yours, you have purchased me. I don't have anything to pay you back in return. Please be satisfied with your own glorious deeds. So this was Krishna's response, So sorry, I'm in a Gita class, I'm talking about Bhagavatam. I don't know why, but it just came to my mind. It is an impromptu class, so whatever is coming to my mind, I'm just speaking out. So yes, the point is that sometimes devotees think that such a statement was spoken by Krishna only to the gopis of Vrindavan. That famous verse, Na paraye ham nirvadya sanyujam. Devotees think that Krishna had spoken this only to the gopis, that I cannot pay you back. No, Krishna had spoken this to Rukmini also. So the point is that Rukmini was also having a very high character, but she also got captivated by the qualities of Krishna. So this is Krishna, So, so yes, whatever, even if we think that we are living a life of goodness, we are living a peaceful life, a happy life, but still, if Krishna is missing, then we are making a mistake. What we should do, we should add Krishna to our lives and hence make our lives perfect. Yes, that was mostly it from me. Any comments, questions, thoughts, criticism, feedback? Any question 1? Any question 2? Any question 2.5? All right. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. We have 10 minutes. In 10 minutes we'll be having Aarti. Please stay with us. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Kunja Vihari